ewo America abujima mu a ebimu ato ho e de go monti so mo ntiase da e kwa panyin fa so wodi nkunu ni we any samawodo bia aka any akabo mu ene awie sepato breka sebo e wo TV eskomna enhwe saka me kenkan e de mo Africa sebo no emu ensem eniem kofa bai e de ema amayekwa ye from APC eyura asan yarega oni enipa no bi eka ho wabra isi empanifo ekina ase na wasa ehwe mo krata mu ebio no ko wiase no ochim se nyande ojo mo krata no tu mo betimi ayiye enti no na enisodi hu kesi a na wo mo ewo se da chi bia no wo be omampanyi ewo mangana mu no enya amaso.
So in accordance with the orders of the Supreme Court, the Commission also evaluated and vetted these forms as ordered by the court to ensure that the candidates have fully complied with Regulation 9.2 of CI 94. We would also like to state that, contrary to the reports in the media, the hearings were very amicable, and all candidates cooperated, or their reps cooperated with the Commission, and there were no incidents or no, I don't know, what's the word? There were no altercations, so we're very surprised at the media reports. The conversations that took part during the hearings were very civil, and in fact, some candidates were in and out several times to seek further clarifications on issues that had come up. There was also no occasion where the Commission refused to point out any errors or omissions on forms to the candidates. And so we'd like to take the opportunity to entreat the media to please report accurately on these matters and not to heighten the tensions which are already associated with these elections any further. Now, following the vetting of the forms, the evaluation of the forms to ensure that they comply with the with CI 94, Regulation 92, the Commission would like to inform the public and the candidates as follows. As of today, 2 candidates withdrew their nominations. They are Mr. Akwesi Adayo Dike of the UPP and Mr. Kwabena J of the RPD. The following nominations were not accepted by the Commission because they do not comply with Regulation 2 of CI 94. Either the number of subscribers were not as required by law, or the subscribers were not valid voters, or the forms were not completed in quadruplicate. The candidates are Dr. Ejeni Boating of the UFP, Mr. Tien Wadbru of the DPP, Madame Ekwa Donko of the GFP, Mr. Kofi Akpalu of the IPP, Mr. Richard Nixon Tete of the UDSP, Mr. Hassan Ayariga of the APC, Dr. Henry Herbert Latte of the GCPP, and Mr. Alfred Kwame Asiedu Walker, an independent candidate. We would like to thank all of you and the media for the high levels of cooperation and support we have seen, and especially for the candidates for working very assiduously with the Commission and very expeditiously to ensure an end to this process. The court also ordered that following the completion of the nomination process, and in order to make sure that we meet the electoral calendar, the Commission should go ahead with the other electoral processes. And so we would immediately go into the balloting for positions on the presidential ballot. Thank you very much.
Era so jina eye isi ensemu na yeto aso dia enipa omuso eti eyeye wa abra isi hwe mo nkrata mu na woji wo mo etu mu se wo so ebetimi apre eye mampanye adwane bie no na wo mo eye ensom na YouTube entrofo eno mo ne musifo ni bi edi enkomo hinti bia
Said your man for the weni edi echira ewo abato nsensem mu no akwakoba say Mame Charlotte o say a woda abato commission no ano no wakire say nipa miensa e na sesi ai de wode omaba beka wonum dada wakire say wogi wonum nomination forms no enti sesi ai NDP PPP ena PNC ena waye nsentwefo nhia mu won kramantema say enura a wode atu edwa sese de tie wode omo ababeka ho Mame Charlotte say e de atu edwa say sesi ai de abato commission no watie afani nyina ama de sese wogi ne tum no wagi na tum na ni nyina no ensem bia edi ahim dia de ncheche nsentwefo e ka no enye sa na ensem ne tie na ocheche ensem mu e de kire nsentwefo.
So in accordance with the orders of the Supreme Court, The Commission also evaluated and vetted these forms as ordered by the court to ensure that the candidates have fully complied with Regulation 9.2 of CI 94. We would also like to state that, contrary to the reports in the media, the hearings were very amicable, and all candidates cooperated, or their reps cooperated with the Commission, and there were no altercations, so we're very surprised at the media reports. The conversations that took part during the hearings were very civil, and in fact, some candidates were in and out several times to seek further clarifications on issues that had come up. There was also no occasion where the Commission refused to point out any errors or omissions on forms to the candidates. And so we'd like to take the opportunity to entreat the media to please report accurately on these matters and not to heighten the tensions which are already associated with these elections any further.
Ye kasa ye de abra bibia ekọ na wie ye no party miensa aba beka ho no and gina so ama sesi ye de won mo agina etu frank ama manyuku ahodo no ye emakomako enson eye ensiampo na independent candidate baako eka ho enti wonom ene owura Ivor Green Street a wo gina de ama Convention People's Party afi na nakonedu Ajiman Rollins wono agina de ama National Democratic Party NDP afi owura John Dramani Mahama oye mampanyin ono ena wojina de ama National Democratic Congress NDC Dr. Papa Kwesi Indum ono ena ejina ede ama Progressive People's Party PPP Nana Adodankwa Ekufu Ado ono ejina de ama New Patriotic Party MPP Ora Edward Mahama ono ejina ede ama People's National Convention PNC afe independent candidate eye Ora Jacob Osei Yeboa Joy na sesia idie abato komisa efa sa kwanya we so eye balloting ema sesei wokohwe ballot paper ne so a sei ena ebesi ebeye ewo da ebeto abano CPP ena ye number 1 NDP eye number 2 NDC eye number 3 PPP eye number 4 NPP eye number 5 PNC eye number 6 ena independent candidate Joy eye Jacob Osei Yeboa Joy 2016 ono ene toso enson anase number 7 eno nam so ema UTV nsentro for any party ahodo yi ekasaye
PNC for na yankopon ayi en say we should win Ghana in terms of the economic independence battle. Yenina Ibeka said we had our political independence on the 6th of March 1957. This is the time for economic independence, and that economic independence I can no. If it must come through the People's National Convention.
Ye will be a ɔte afidie mu ana ɔyɛ bubu ani a ɔpre Ghana mampani ɛwɔ bibire mu nyinaa na sɛ de ɔno nyame no waka pɛn sɛ ɔno sɛ ne tumi bɛda adinti ɛna yɛyi Ivor so ɔmɛyɛ yɛ Frank Atufo no yɛnim sɛ ɔno na ahyɛ da ɛde akɔto baako a ɛkyɛ sɛ nyame ɛde nkanie no ɛde ama yɛn deda
wohwɛ this year's ballot paper na wobɛhu sɛ strong parties no ewo 3, 4, ni 5. Until so Ghanaian voter no now dream is focused on the middle. What did they make an say? NDC was 3, PPP was 4, MPP ewo 5. Wow. Until the concentration of Ghanaian voter 2016 is in the middle. And PPP soon ewo middle. So it is a good choice. They are me who say a juma kese edayehni. They are me who say I was say focus on any juma. Until the area no. You call all out to get all the votes out there. We are hopeful of victory.
The right thing has been done. The highest court of the land has ruled. The Electoral Commission agreed to the ruling, and that's the beauty of it. That the separation of powers is working effectively in our democracy, and we must pat ourselves in the back for such a good show of democratic exercise. Yeah, 5. Baby, no parliamentary na. Intema ye parliamentary candidates. Any ye presidential candidate. Nana Dodankwa Akufo-Addo. Ye nyina osono no a ahyem so de na kan ho. Mani ye easy to market. The idea ye nije ho. Na em say 5 no so ye adom. Ye grace na before honest. The aba etu e. Em say nyame adom. E be ma victory na ba.
ni awo adoji ono aso na esaye ankobia awo achim kutoku na atankonya na okwa anadwo afutu dompre a otoso enan wodi afutu de ama amanyefo nyina ese enche na abato ebaso etobesa amanyefo nyina se no mahodo a ebe ya emome yensa enka sodwe no wonfa ento nche na womoa na asodwe etimi enkoso na de ensemu etuja wa abra chief of staff wa Julius Debra ekọ na se na okosara na enyi panifo
Electoral man content. No more, if you need to say, I buy a bit to it. I do blow baby. When you Macam, if a woman, the senator, on what said us. On share the year into year as we have a Ghana. Any Ghana, any baby, then Ghana and a election. Me be a election. And yet, this is someone who can chance a mystery trade on one man. So young, about 1 year. A typical baby.
Eno achiri no ohene a owo sachikrom nana osai anka a otoso enan ono so de adesrade ato aban anim se womo ensesam ranim se de be ya sachikrom ebetumi aba ensawam ado agiri municipal womo ebook mu esan se ye ka sachikrom a achere yie papa e wo mansini ni mu enti ehia se ebehunu womo nso bia na ebeto omu den nana osai anka esan de adesrade eto aban anim se womo hia food bridge e wo enkran ene ensawam bypass no womo hia bi papa said be ya hyen betimi afaso na ya na ebobbo enkrofo hwehwe fom dodom a wo mo hwere mo nkwa nyina etie no so okire mu sei
Aba say wori che district mu yeah eno behwa won aye no some adwagiri won ayi se jiko mafi yamba aye manibri some kese na aye ayo ko kakra yamba yedi kan be chi yen so ye krom aye eni so kroi aye ene na lanso sesregu a ofinya na so yamba no be su agroma ansa na oto aso akodu akro e se minim se metropolis ni bi wo ha kra akro bi wo ha kra bia be 4 ala num a wo de ye na ko ye bie mpa wọ́n yí ama ní ìsà mọ́bí o ti ladaroma asẹ̀mí yẹn baako ní. Yamba.
Na ekrakra mu na chief of staff ekọ zongo nananom eho ewo nsawam ni adoagiri mansin sa na okọ nananom ahema a omo wo nsawam obi etese nana awoya amankwa odi kan onumunyafo Julius Debra ene na pamfo nyina e kire se sansem nananom de ato nanim no obehwe na wabo ni nyina no de akọ mampanyi we sanse epoye mantem de omampanyi edana koma so yi a obetu mu anamo
Local to the India action so Mama also assumption very different and then the first very good. So go for one and ten the Sarah is on two services and classes are my children super on their cousins and any Mama by far seeing the
yetwa ensem so na yede ni eche edwedie ensemu ekakra na guta edwedefo nka mu koro so ede atu edwase nansen edwuma mu eye no eno mu aidine ede amamu ye papa na omu ede ensem etu edwa wa bra na adodankwa akufo adon ne panifo omu ekọ edwedefo yi ena so numu na president ede mamu Wura George Ofori ene esenchofo ekasaye ne sem bi ode etu edwa no ebi enie
Nana and your team, don't forget about the exchange rate, the interest rate, inflation, which is about 17.5%. Now you're talking about interest rate of 33%. When you add your processing fees, because when you go in for the facility, it's not all about the loan. The processing fees of about 2%, adding it to that 33%, you are getting about 35%. So it means, in effect, the business community, i.e. the private sector, is working for the various commercial banks. In terms of harassment of traders on the road, after you've cleared your goods at the port of entry, you will find a lot of agencies national security, the BNI, the police, the immigration officers, preventive, and all those people there, special task force. And sometimes, Nana, I marvel and ask myself, what is going on at our ports?
There is a premium on the efficient management of the national economy. It isn't just words. If we have a situation where the economy is being managed well, it does automatically certain things. You'll see interest rates will come down. The rate of inflation will come down. You'll have a more stable and more powerful currency. The whole legislative and administrative framework for doing business, including what happens at the ports, the corruption, the harassment and extortion of traders, all these are matters that we are required to address as a matter of urgency, if indeed we want to grow with an economy and bring prosperity. You're going to have very active and sympathetic partners. We're going to listen to you. We're going to take you into their confidence so that we can design policy that makes sense for you, makes sense for our nation, and hopefully will then contribute to growing our economy.
Mashibujani awujina wa edima dishia wamu eugumwa central ono so eto anamo bi na enuanu masabi wamu ho edi edem no wakwa akwaye wamu adoye omakadi ahodo ebetimi aboa na obetimi anante etimi akono watimi abano ode bi edi akodom wamu
Ashebedwani a wogomwa central mpesua no so eye Rahel Nanajo apon munyamfoi wakwakoye adoye kese pa na obodwadata hema gomwa Franci ena dwumedie ekoso wode nyoma ahodo ene che wono asebe wade dem ewo wunipadua mu na nenkasa yemu ene wo kyerese ehia se yebebo mo ban a yentietia wono efa hodie so emrashebedwani ede eto wono adi dem se eya mo nkogina kwa ho nsresrade na mo hye wo mu nkran se wo mo mpe bibi na wo mo nye a dane de nyina beboa ama wo masetena mu no atumi akoyi a wo kyerɛ ensemu sei
enyo bia ne pese se bi obedidam wa asase do obi enyi wa no de opɛ obi wa wode won wa wode won no nya wo na wo bɔ wo ho tinyame na anyim senti a oma bibi dem ye dan obai ade na me be hia mo no da me hia mo bia me ka kyerɛ mo de bibi enyi wa mo ntumo nye na me na mo nkran na me hu de sabi ebi mu take advantage na was say ska na oye ma tete kakra because sabi ye na ehye TV a broni a we di dem ngira kwa ho say ska ye be hu obu a na onyin so de ne nan odi twitwu ne se obu onu mo so a sabi onyin nan enso mo tu mo de oye no o chende owo ni nyina the man na mepede me so bi enkran wa ha de Ghana fo so ye betum ayeden ya ye
acheza ene MP oda abrahim ode ya me yimini aso hene yi pa ensi ena se kese de ye ma de da wa ya ma yin oba sai ye bobo ano amo wa tia do wa se akoni second time mama ene ya ma ni ase da wa ya ma yin obiara emebe si da wa ye da di bo ye go no ha no wa da ma hene da yo mo da wa tia do oda ma hen emprende bre no enti ye da ase bebre de kwa da ma da men se akwade ma akukọ bona ota akukọ ka pe no ye mo de Ghana Federation of Disabled Gomgo East Central and the other Nasikase, Yadra Malano, Yadra Nasibi.
Afei de ni eche eye etiwa East Mercy mu na yekoduru onuma NCC enkrabata ewo honom no wo tu anamo bia European Union for eta wo echinya ene se parliamentary debate ena wahye edi ama Americo NDC ena afeso NPP se de be ya betimi aboa na omanfo a wo ewo mpesa no so no wo tu aba obetimi hu de so to aba ma no na odi putu so ede bebre adasama nyina
dwumadi na se no na ononyamfo Clement Donko de tu gwase se dwumadi a wore ye a woyama won a wopre akọ emrache begwam wo atiwa east abato empeso ano so no wore ye se na be ya nipa a ewo mantamu no so behu anisuade hu a nipa ya agina yiwo se na be ya wo begina so ato waba ama won na mmom abato wo hoyi enye ntokwaw na enye adapatwa enu nti wo behu na nipa ba enu bi gina ba bi atinye na adan ntokwaw wo se saade ne de braso se yetwa saade num na mmom asempoti ya onipa no wana se niso ade hu a owo enu nti opese woto aba ma no eno na sese wugina so de to aba se na be ya aba ye ba betu yi ewo afi mu no asumdwe befa ne intamapa efira na nipa a wodi se adwuma yi ma won eye ne ogina mu ma NDC na afa ne ogina mu ma MPP ni chima abato wo ho yi enye ntokwa se ne asisi wo aman ahoro bi so onga twitwa ebinum nsa atwitwa ebinum nan no won pese saade ne bibesi wo yenga na mamu ha na mmom ne yenti a wo pese woto aba ma wo no eno na wode betu gwa ma nipa no nso ate ase se ne be ya ochene bi enkonkoye ntokwa na se ne a amanya atwa omanga na ho ahia no ntokwa na ade asisi wo ho no won pese bibesi wo ha nti se adwumadi a woye ma won aboa won pa se ne be ya won achitaafo nso behu ne yenti a woto aba
ye hwe campaigner ekoso a eya na candidates no omo address issues most of the time omo address issues ebi wo a akwakoye te say personal attacks any ade verbal attacks na ye pese ye twen ho free saade no na ye address issues more essence ye be ye personal attacks and verbal attacks eno nti na ye sa dwumadie
ononyamfo Foster Asante na oreprako emrache begwam wo atiwa east wo NDC amanyoku no anim on the UTV insentrofo kasai
the state eye mi a megina ha someone to so aba de wo many suwe adu eti apese moto aba ene mama yegina ye say that help to education and employment
ni kurakura mu na ononyamfo abena osei esare ono no ye emrache begwani a owo atuwa east abato empeso ano so ono koronara no wasan gina oreprako emrache begwam wo MPP afam ono so ne UTV insentrofo kasaya okirekire dwumadi ongedi boa eba beboa won afa
abatwe enye wetimi wakame ye kire ya adwen keke sebi ye nya ye den ye ebusua baako ye kire ya adwen wi a asa eye kebi mami enkebi enu ape ye ebusua baako untimi nka se kane no na me wo ebusua we ne mini se ebusua ni bio den so betimi aka se o kane no na me wo party we mini party we bio den so ebusua de ye mpo ntimi de minim se enyan ebusua baako a ye bekoso adodo ye ho ye bekoso e de nkambo matena ase ye beto aba na wie boni bia ensi na minim se na adoda nko akufo ado yakopon ebesi ne hene na asumdue na ene ye wo ho no ene ye akoso awo ho abiri nyina
Industrial and Commercial Workers Union one so area to eja our chips and I'm saying cement a hold no bia or the free Nigeria e ba mangana mutino eya madwuma na e wo mangana mu no eya akofom there's a company sa hold o mo eya cement ni bi e wo mangana mu no o mo e breyi pa etino omo se e de omo de se de e de to aban ani se won hwe na cement a hold a e de so fi amahodo so e ba o mangana mu no emese Ghana de no na trofo panyin e de ma ICU Russell Monkotai e na e de eseme e to era.
It's a fact that when you allow what we are describing as dumping into the economy to force and pull the local manufacturers down to reduce their prices, but the net effect is that as they do that, okay, the end result is that they are going to lay workers off. As we speak to you now, layoffs have begun in most of the local manufacturing companies. Now that we are aware that these foreigners who are bringing cement into this country, okay, declare their product as semi-products so that they don't pay the exact tax that they are supposed to pay. And then eventually, as soon as the product enters, it's being sold as a finished product. Then again, are we interested in growing our economies? If you take Nigeria, for example, they don't allow certain imports to come into the country. Why have we over-liberalized? So if Kopi Kapito and his group are only looking just at price level and comfort of workers, of average Ghanaian to be able to build and develop and do whatever construction, we are looking at a broader picture. We have argued eloquently here that if you visit any cement manufacturing company, you find all facets of academia present in the factory. These that are importing in, this ton never grows economy. This buy and sell never grows economy. And that is what they must also know. What should be our priority? And the priority, we say, it is wrong at this stage for government. Fortunately, the LI 2240 have been, promulgated. We are asking that commission that should monitor what quantity should come in, what should not come in, is not there. And at the moment, the Ministry of Trade and Industry allowing people to bring whatever quotas without any of the commissioners sanctioning it is a worry as labor that we have. Now, the layoffs have begun, and I can tell you clearly, you visit a place like Gassam, okay, 72 workers are having their way out. Fortunately, for now, the 72 workers are all casual workers, but casual workers are supervised by permanent workers. And we see workers as workers, whether you are casual or permanent, you are still a worker, and they are going to lose their livelihood. What do we mean by quota? We all know that trade liberalization has never been the aid of development to the developing countries. And if for now we could see the rate of cement inflows, okay, from all over the world coming in here, obviously they know they are coming to compete. And you know, in every competition, they will first lower their prices. And when they get stabilized, they'll raise it back to where it should be. But at that stage, our local factories will have been weakened. So we are saying that fine, we belong to ECOWAS. We are part of the World Trade Organization. And therefore, Ghana cannot be an island. But at least we have the right to determine what quantities should come in and still keep us flowing and working and grow the country.
After the near a year, a poem month so Forestry Commission for more adage may be a dear. What it say red eye. No, and I would him say, when you know, watch a mebuno agent to say, and who be a sasia, yes, so a juma audono, he bits me a dear and we are a training a dear gumponum, a dear be a see anymore, a bit me a boy, papa, I must say to me about by it, no, what an idea, or catch a mebuno, I say, one for whom she will be a monage mediano, and quite anymore.
Ore ye saadi se ne be ya niema ahoro a ye de sei nsu na fe ye de sei kwaye ne ade no ye bebre na se ne be ya wimu nsakra ya ya nhwe ye e de nsunsuanso bone bebre atiasefo no ne ya hwe ama saade no yesiwa no na bre a wore pasa adwumadi ho ntama no wode asukufo ne atichafo nyina ba sa adwumadi na se ne be ya wonso wo besunya biribi executive director order wildlife division ano a owo asoye a wo hwe kwae so eye nana kofi adu insia o kire mu se na bribia mu no ye peniema emroso ebia okisi ba akopenti na wakwa kosoja na akwhye okwae ne ade nyina na agudi kakra obetu nsu nti no no wasai nsu adodo nyina benom no ni nyina ka ho bi ede ohawbre temamufo anase atiasefo o kire mu fom agudi a wotu ne ade a asai brim na feide nsu ni ade no ye ade bia ede ohawba pa na se wohwemu a wotu kwae no ne ade na hawo sansu yi na sansu yi nso eboa ma ehwe nipa dodo beye se mpem aduonu abiesa enu nti no ese ye ma yengani kosaade hu ye eno na ononyamfo ata owusu ononoda asoye a ehwe kwae so wo apue mantam ode tugwase ese wone nipa wo ngano kasa dugwam ne adede wo ntama bomu se ne beya wo bekasa atia sa adwumadi no wode emabun no nso afankyirikire mu na wohwemu a wo ngagya no mo ne ade de wo ho hye nuabubu ne fom agudi na fe mabun na nkasa nso de wo ho hye mu bi.
Another important and indispensable national treasure is our forest. Our lives on this planet will be extremely difficult, if not totally impossible, but for the crucial life-supporting functions which forests deliver to all of us. The valuable environmental resource help us to meet some of the basic needs which are required to make our very existence on this planet possible.
Owura ya okwache ono no di Red Eye Plus ku ye ni mobile wo bepa ho ntama wo atiwa mansi no mu a wo kirem a eho ne baabi akwa ibrentu wo enu nti ese wo hwe no wo be ye wo ho na wonso ye wo ho no esa anfo magudi ne ade a wotu ameranda ho nti no wo ye wo ho a no nga kire wo nkwae so mfaso ne ade se ne be ya wo kine bi wo nkomu nkobu nnua anase wo nkotu fo magudi mfa nse nsu e wo mantem wo imrahye begwani a owo atiwa is abato empeso ano so eye ononyamfo abena osei esare ede say afutu ma wonga ewo mantemo anase ewo emiamia ewo tu fom agudi ne ade ne si wonhwe no wontwe wo ho mfi enebone a wo kwai mu nua bubu ne fom agudi tu a emranda ho no wontwe wo ho mfi ho se ne be ya ye nkwae ne ade anase insu a ye no no enkofa ohaw bi emre omanfo a wonya saa insu ne nom okiremu a emua ne ade korempo a wo enwura no mu na wo kwae no mu no wonso wo boa ma kwae no nso nyinye ma ne ma papa ewo kwae no mu no nso tena esanse mua ne nyina boa na ma kwae ne dimu na se wokodi okisi ana adoa bi a ne nan ketenkete achi na se wokosɛe kwae a na afi wakɔ ha onipa bebree
Brony baby climate change. I say you ma bebree amaye. Kanino na ye nimra nsuo beto. Ye nimpa ma hamatan ne beba. Nanso efa ye nwi a ye twitwa. Ani ye forest ni a ye mo ho ban nti. Ene sa nyu me nyina asesa. Ama patterns of rainfall assistance. Emma emwa ye papa no ye ma me no me fiafo no.
Ekuba kwa wotu ho eso no so obeboa na watimi amadwim di ahodo akofom no eye former deck na omo so e dwumadi be hye so a butaye a eda koma so nyina ene so obeboa na okọ eye abanyuma ahodo mu etoda dwim di ahodo ekoso e magana eboka bebre no ano ebetimi abrase dwumadi na se no omo ne essential ekasa ye na ene so di hu ti a ode hye dwumadi we nyina no wodanadi e de eche ho
saa symposium dwumadie wo ye se de ebe ya ebeboa ama ketase hye ne proye a ya na eba aban mu ni aban nwuma mu no watimi ayi afri ho dwumadie twetwe anintini yakuku dambi ti se enkane minister of state ora Albert Kandapa enkane commissioner Edema Shraj Justice Emil Short ena omanhene a wo Esikado area nana kobina inketia otoso enum na eno ena enkane swafo ana owo maimu ora Albert Kandapa se yakaketase hye ne proye a ade bia eya ohaw eda oman ne so papa na ehia se besi ginae papa ena nkontabu atimi akoso ama wemu nyina atumi afiri ho wode etu edwa se auditor general mrahye atemu adwuma no ena sese wo ka bom no mu ye adwuma den se de be ya wo mu etu anamon wo ketase ne proyemu no ye de mraketi ebegina ho a eno no betimi etu sosa na yatimi ayi afiri ho a wo kire nsem sei.
As far as the public sector is concerned, the real problems to me are two. Namely, the ease with which monies can be stolen. And secondly, the knowledge among public servants that no sanctions will be applied even if they were caught. Monies can easily be stolen in the public sector primarily because of the ineffectiveness of our accountability institutions and mechanisms, coupled with our fear to apply sanctions against those who steal. Some three institutions to be what we call the horizontal accountability institutions. And it is the duty of these three accountability institutions to hold the government in check. These institutions are the Auditor General, the Parliament of Ghana, and Auditor General, who is to go through the books of government to tell us that if you use the monies wisely and if you used it in accordance with the financial laws of the country, and that we, the citizens, should rest assured that our monies have been used properly. But for some strange reasons, this Auditor General, who is to audit the president, is appointed by the president, parliament. How can they, when the majority of the members there belong to the president's party? And how can they, when those on the government side have been assured by the constitution that the majority of the ministers will be picked from among their lot? Politicians are very ambitious. So the three key institutions that have been put in place to make sure that people don't steal government accounts for the monies, they don't really have any tooth to bite. We do not have an accounting system as a nation in the public sector. My wife owns a very small business. She has an accounting system that works. That we do not have an accounting system, and therefore accounting transactions for government are not captured and recorded to produce a year-end financial statement is scandalous.
ye kwa mo so na ye ni prince o ni ba ahinkai kodi enkomo na enkra yensa aka ne se kodru presenter Electoral Commission for mo ensentrofo hyemuniti no ya soma enia ahinkan se na da romo nko na de ko so bia no twafo ni enfamai oni ba me mo ha
ofa me joso
eti sai menua
na me adom ko fa
jo e de na ko so presenter
yo ofa so ni se aka enda adunisia 26 days na election 2016 na jebo nya edisi na eno na Electoral Commission e ma Mr. to say oni the commissioners and now my friends and joke with him. So, Mumba, the job on Bana, Mumba Christians, and I'm born my year, and my election 2016 and to Omoni. Now, I know, and I'm a mission to say, Casta, or Saturday free. I have 2012, a bride in the Monaco entity cast on Monton Martin, the Omodi Supreme Court, or Monaco Supreme Court, Emma Supreme Court, Casta, Omonia, Electoral Reform Committee. Mumma Fatty, the Metuga, I think 2016 a buyer, but the best strong. Now, my ministry recommendation committee led by India, Omodi Nina, I some Nina, Juma. Akwanchira na se bia commission ga so mo de aye ejuma na all church listen na say if you biometric machine so ye ti you e ka to so na ye by special machine ta to so na uponi na bia ba wo don san numi na to so na o say afi aye police station say e be ye na police station ga na ko ko to be ni na police station na de do aye 28,920 o say eno na ye amount say ye ka 29,000 say ya approximation ye approximation 28,000 920 police stations and Omega na fear that's why but this police station boko hono and yet device na police machines now don't start to police station dey be you know to bako eso ya no asa ko bako o ti assign some you know so called district election officers e wo regions ni bia region bia bako bia this election office ya wo hono ni na obia so be na machines ni be square egu hono ma Omega so na technicians it's a fault about where police stations are no one say electoral officer or hono obasa the district election office not the Christians number no with the machines for number no one say the video among experts on one so much the machines need other thing and as the machine need to be delay aba ama ba ya to amana apa 5 pm so say impose about 5 pm so biam to ya wa uja line no who dina mu kwa dia 5 pm na bo uja line kwa dia obeto so after so ba no 7 the one the need to na asase na 5 no the line no ma obeto na so something to just say obeto na yakasa Supreme Court akasa say one Supreme Court today but no so no be a on the party for vehicle on the PP4 say number on the party ya enko ye ayemra e no odi eye ejuma after so odi to just say notice of pool for parliamentary no aba abonte that we don't call police stations a hold on notice of pool no ebobobo ho o say ballot paper for parliamentary no aye a few days and as a minimum day if you minimum day there printing for ballot paper or parliamentary no omodi nyina e be wi a few days and as a few the limit that na ballot paper no for parliamentary no printing nyina e wi o say presidential no so aye suwa e joda presidential no notice of pool e be ababa bonte notice of pool ba bonte a ni ukodamu ana acha Thursday here na printing presidential no asase ballot paper na asase o so mo presidential no isi and am so mo printer organize and each in kwa na kwese baby na mo printer o mo ni political party na ko printing center mo so o mo ko sebi e hu sa je ye printer wa ha e printer wa ha enti o bi say ye see ye printer ye wiem ye ni de no o say enye ampa na ape so ne o de ababetu jo mo a o meto proxy e no mo meto special voting o say no na send in them the mom say o mo meto proxy and na mo over 1,500 o say enyampa and now some more proxy no aye voters no mo ye 532 nipa 532 na request from to proxy commissioner said say ampa e bi say to mo say kind of proxy after so o say special no the get amba special voting here is official any media for journalist so any opposite for any o mo nya I figure the my 29,773 29,773 and number two special vote no special vote no first December the special voting no obia just wow class of special voting the oboko akwakoto o say electoral commission science say the omuvi council omode results in the ban the police station at the Junction police station figure ya to anata ba o ma so o ma declare no omode ba ko better the police station wo just obia ba o be shey bia obo say figure no etarwa na say pinship ni bi etarwo after so agent for no so obia be kita the pinship obia be kita the results just no so we ka so we ka ko ta figure no we ka ko ta figure o ko district office the what staff for station so oboko na police station bia so we ko etarwo no obia e be tina ko shi and sana omode aba national coordination center o say a strong room no mo twem she here no person strong your national collation center what national collation center is central for ebo you are first of all the life say the omo kika figures ni boom but the mahama nyasi and na kupo the nyasi say the omo ka boom ni obi abet me cha ba tv so aye the life of William obi a tija abegu lulu bi ani ho after for otaso di fuja ke adia aye electoral commission e ha omo pa and then the omo di tija ni say atem bi na dose de but now we give my Mr. Lopasea, now we give a commissioner. We have to go and read your say, Obia, no Monagin, Uncle Supreme Court, and Uncle Court, no Castle Commission, more if you might see any Monagin. Now, the Millionaire and also the commission for also a more Barbara, more Musia, almost almost to move your Martin Sana, and a young African. I will say Africa, a part if you want to receive threat message. I think it's the officials need you know where we see threat message, the government, the see, if I'm on your phone, a similar in Kenya, the mind, democracy, see, Jaita. So, the commission, I am ready, 10 November 7th, there, Ghana, Amato, Bia, that's what, from Sobia and Baho. The Ghana Ponya, which we use, we say, on baby Diamana.
It has papa in your praise. Oniba ahenkan ena etino enkano yetwa esem no esum yedeni eche kunsu RC Basic School eno ewo hafo no Southwest Mensin mo santimante mo wo chese fisha bebre ni ena wo si school no nanso enya de school no wo si ye no wonya emwa bi ebetimi abo na school akoso a eja na mo so biunu ti no wo mo sepenifo se be adu ndi mo edene sepenifo enko mo emwa
awrahusam ne se kunsu Roman Catholic Basic School eno ewo ahafo ano Southwest Mensin no emu efiri se wo si ebesi ne enya de ansiesie adwuma anapoto kasa mu ade afre ne renovation no wonum atumi aye bi ewo ho enam so me ne mo ekase no classroom si nyina ana ba bia mafra ne suade no efom ho paapai enchanse na atete emakọ ewo fidie ade ama chechefo ene school fo ne nyina Owura Elvis Fosukwaten eye head teacher e Kunsu RC Basic School na oni UTV Central for Twetwe enkomo no wo kire se school no wo ma wom gyan ne se wo gyan ne nyina ene se ene ade afre ne galamse abaje mpetamo nyina aboso ema mafra ne bi nso no ehu faso a wo school so wo mo ejai akwakoye galamse yi ebi enam so mo de adesode ato aban ene wo ma eka bi ewom wakase mpu ebepu na enu so ebedu kuhudo nyina enim se womna school no emwa na babiadru ne de enkunta atobentum ensem ano ayenyan ade ama wonom
anam school no yete ya chenti ama ye hawo no adoso ye hawo ne bi ne ye classroom blocks no school no for 75 years ago na yete school no nti wo hear structures na enam sa chenti ama cracks ne pillars na ebuna dade bebre ho a wo say ye innovation kese pass the be classroom no bitimi I very conducive for teaching and learning nti ye classroom blocks no ye hia ehomwa ti stakeholders ne NGOs ni ada bodies ni aso mumra no me boy say the be bitimi innovate ye classroom sama classroom na kama amankura no betem sua de amotimi ehunu ye afi haye galamsey community nti galamsey activities na ma nkura no bebre ehu sikape nti obasku kura ono angasa timi dwane ekoye galamsey adwuma ana me so binye bina ode ahemte besre omo ka bi omu nyina se omo mra se de be ya be educating kura nti na ye sa program ke se de be ya be educating kura nyina about the importance of education no madwene fi sikapa aba omo eso omo kura no mo fi classroom ekwakoye galamsey adwuma no
achiachefo bi ni centrefo twetwe nkoma wo mo se do omo ha hodo wo fam no eto eye UTV centrefo anim
oha ye famu no pa wo eye kunsu krudiem ha ye galamsey dwumadie na abaha no de eha no gina pa ye ema no enam se sikasem no wo fom ti no galamsey fo no nya sika kakra de ma ya no a na ma school ba no aye omani ha enu ba bi e wo so onyem na wanyem
ye wo enrollment of 40 to 50 in a class enso so obeba no na edan ni mu ketekete nti nkura ne ye nkom emwa ye nkura nti ebesra aban se wo ma mehwe ye na ontre school dan ni mu mai
ebejina eye kunsu ensemi so na yetwe hu tia wa agenkrato ye ba ya na ye de kasebo no ekọ amahodo so ensemu abusafo nyina akwaba afi twabosompo ne akọ nkofo amanso ebohwina se koju America abrochime mo se de moto aba abo openu na Trump din se ono na mapanyi ewo America abrochime mo no eno na nkran sa akan se so do America ekudu na nkasa na mafo ni bi ebuofu so mo ntiase sa abato ekoso ipa na nkunu bi akoso de ama owura Trump ni ti no wato wo agumonte so a wo mo oyeche
nipa mpempem na wɔn te wɔn gu mɔntene so a na wɔn yɛ ɔyɛkyerɛ ɛteɛ mu sɛ wɔn mpɛ sɛ owura Donald Trump ebedi ɔmampanyin wɔ America man ni mu na deɛ wɔn ka nyinaa not my president wɔnyɛ president wɔnyɛ me president nsɛm a na wɔn ɛka no a ebi nso so ɛnenam social media so na owura Trump nyame yɛ adom na ɔsafo na mu sɔ yi a wɔn ɛna bɛba bɛyɛ 45th US president na kyɛ sɛ amampanyin fo matena akonnwa so wɔ US man ni mu no ɔbɛtɔ so aduanan enum a ɛyɛ nwanwa paa ma ɔmanfo ne ewiase nyinaa no abɔ ɔmo pusa sɛ maame Hillary Clinton wantimi ani nkunim
na America mampani owura Barack Obama nkran sa akan se enche kra ono so ani owura Donald Trump ebehia na ekwa befa so betime gya power ni mu ede ama no omo ede eho enkomo
enipa mpempem na wɔn te wɔn gu mɔntene so a na wɔn yɛ ɔyɛkyerɛ ɛteɛ mu sɛ wɔn mpɛ sɛ owura Donald Trump ebedi ɔmampanyin wɔ America man ni mu na deɛ wɔn ka nyinaa not my president wɔnyɛ president wɔnyɛ me president nsɛm a na wɔn ɛka no a ebi nso so ɛnenam social media so na owura Trump nyame yɛ adom na ɔsafo na mu sɔ yi a wɔn ɛna bɛba bɛyɛ 45th US president na kyɛ sɛ amampanyin fo matena so akonnwa so wɔ US man ni mu no ɔbɛtɔ so aduanan enum a ɛyɛ nwanwa paa ma ɔmanfo ne ewiase nyinaa no abɔ ɔmo pusa sɛ maame Hillary Clinton wantimi ani nkunim
Roy Clinton so ano so so beye mampanyi e wa America no kwada wori ne kape awie